Penguins had a 1-0 lead going to the second period, made it 2-0 on Ron Francis's fourth goal of the playoffs. Just rung it up the pipe to the left of Andy Moog from Murphy and Stevens at 5:01. And Raymond Bourque with his seventh from Neely and Janney. And that cut it to a 2-1 lead, but right back came the Penguins as Grant Jennings right in front flipped it underneath the glove of goaltender Moog to make it 3-1 and Lemieux in a breakaway. Scoring for Pittsburgh unassisted. Went right upstairs on Andy Moog to make it a 4-1 game. So the Penguins have the lead going to the third period.
By the way, Mike, today is Grant Jennings' birthday. He's 26 years old today. So he scores a goal on his birthday.
And his last one came in '89 as a member of the Hartford Whalers. And I don't know who he got it against. Probably the Boston Bruins.
I'll be interested to find out what's wrong with Dave Poulin. If he's able to come back in the series. Certainly a big part of their team with Ken Hodge out with a shoulder injury, and then Poulin. That won't help the Bruins cause at all.
And if they should be out, both of them, if Hodge can't return, they have been ticketed, hopefully, to return by Game 4. Ken Hodge is what he was hoping to do. I'd read that. But Wes Walz is a young rookie who probably will see some ice time if Poulin and Hodge are both out.
Andy Moog is out. The Penguins have driven him from the goal crease. Reggie Lemelin, who certainly is very familiar to Bob Johnson, the coach of the Penguins, because he had been with the Calgary Flames when Johnson was the coach of the Flames. Andy Moog is out of the game altogether. Del Guidas is in there.
Maybe just giving him a rest. And yet off he came off that battle with the flu. And just get him in a cooler place than what the building is. And believe me, it's extremely warm here tonight at the Civic Arena. So the Boston Bruins make a change overall, and they will bring in Ray-Jean Lemelin. Lemelin last played for the Boston Bruins. Looking at this is the Penguins' overall record, and see if we can find out as we go along here to begin the third period. And they played late in the season, I think the last game of the regular season for the Bruins. And up the center will come to Larry Murphy. Murphy whacked at it. Turns it over to Mario Lemieux, and important now for the Penguins to try and keep the intensity going here in the third. Aries around a man. Weimer cuts for the net. Aries there, and he can't get it by Lemelin. And a penalty coming up against Jim Weimer as he and Bob Arie collide. But the Bruins will be penalized here early in the third period. And I was talking about the momentum. By the way, Stanton of Pittsburgh, Lazaro of Boston received minor penalties for roughing at the 20-minute mark at the end of the second period. And now it'll be Jim Weimer headed off here on a high sticking call 20 seconds in. But again, to re-emphasize, the Penguins need to keep the momentum going right now against the Bruins because they've got to try and carry it over, and this game's far from over now into the fourth game if they can do it.
Slashing call against that man, number 36, Jim Weimer. Back to the power play go the Penguins, and here comes that Jaws music again. You see the shark fin there behind Jim Weimer. The Penguin fans asked to hold up the shark fins every time there's a power play. Joe Castriota of Pittsburgh is our contestant on the Ironman Advantage contest.
And here we go, back in behind the Boston net. Lemieux can't hold on to it. Around to the right point, though, Larry Murphy will. Swinging off the body of Mark Recchi, and it jumps all the way down the ice back into the Penguins' end. And Barrasso again will play the puck for Larry Murphy. Murphy's pass ahead on the right wing, intended for Phil Bourque. That's beyond his reach. And the Penguins have to set it up at center. Somebody lost a glove. It was Ray Bourque of the Bruins. Kevin Stevens over to Recchi, and the Bruins in now in front to Phil Bourque, and he failed the attempted shot, trying to get it on Lemelin, and it's pushed away with the Bruins back to center. Retreating back, it will be Larry Murphy. Murphy's pass coming through, and now he gets it again, and he'll dump it to the left wing side of the Bruins into Mario Lemieux. Crunched heavily on a check by Ray Bourque and set him flying. Good shoulder check by Ray Bourque. And now play is called back on a two-line offside pass.
Bourque is looking for Mario now every chance he gets.
Reggie Lemelin in goal tonight right now for the Bruins. His 19th playoff series, his first against Pittsburgh. He's played with 3 Stanley Cup final teams, 86 with Calgary, 88, and 90 with the Bruins. So he is in there now as the goaltender. He was the backup in all the games against Hartford or Montreal in the playoff series earlier.
Work just simply fanned on that attempt as he came down the slot. Where the puck went.
And the Penguins are down to 1:01 to go on the Weimer penalty. It's lofted back into Penguin real estate, and returning to take control of it will be Larry Murphy. Murphy passed to the right side to Scott Young. He'll find Yager, but it jumped off his blade. Caroms into the Boston zone. And the Bruins again force it back to center. Penguins set up shop one more time. Scott Young coming down the left wing into the Bruins blue line area to Mullen, and he stepped into the corner, but it hit something and went up into the seats, and play is stopped. Let's see what they call for the faceoff. Did it hit a Bruin player or not? 37 seconds to go.
Well, the Penguin forwards are really doing a lot of crisscrossing in the neutral zone against the Boston Bruins, and it's much easier for them to do it in this rink than it is at the Garden, because there's much more room in the neutral zone, and that's where the crisscrossing really begins. And for the Bruins, they have to remain in their lanes if the crisscrossing takes place right at the blue line or inside the zone. But if it's out in the neutral zone, the defensemen are allowed to stay with the forward who has the puck. If he crisscrosses with somebody else, the man is allowed to crisscross with him. In other words, change the side of the ice that he's on and just follow the man with the puck, and the other guy would follow the guy without the puck. But it's very tough for the defensemen to keep track of what they're supposed to do in those situations, and the Penguins can cause some problems.
Yager again stepping back into the Bruins in on the left wing. Send it back to the point area, but it's intercepted by Bob Sweeney. And Sweeney will push it all the way the length of the ice, and the Penguins are down to just 16 seconds to go on the penalty to Weimer. And that close to penalty to connect for the third time on the power play. Yager again scoots down the boards into the Bruins in. Janney trying to slow him down. Yager keeps going. He gets it around to Mullen. Mullen behind the net. Played it up Yager. How he has a puck again. Joey Mullen steps out, centers it. Bouncy puck free right there. Lemelin stopped the shot by Francis. Francis again shoots. Save made Lemelin. And the Bruins have the rebound. The penalty is over. Rajon Lemelin making the stop. Not once but twice on Ronnie Francis. Here's Neely to the Penguins in. Down the right side. Ruzicka comes in and shoots it. And a good leg save there by Tom Barrasso. And the Penguins scored ahead of Recchi behind the defense in a breakaway. Recchi comes in against Lemelin. Shoots. Save made. And almost rolled by him, but he was able to grab it and hold on. We had to wait and see whether it was to get through Rajon Lemelin. But Reggie Lemelin came up tough against Mark Recchi, and the wrecking ball failed to give the Penguins a big fifth goal there. We'll be back in a moment. 4-1 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
All Giant Eagle stores are open for business and ready to serve you. Right now at Giant Eagle, you'll find crisp California iceberg lettuce, just 29 cents a head. A 12-pack of Pepsi for just $1.99. And Purdue Pick of the Chicken, only 79 cents a pound. All Giant Eagle stores will accept any Giant Eagle, Foodland, or Shop and Save check cashing cards. For more information regarding any Giant Eagle, call toll-free 1-800-553-2324.
Reggie Lemelin 17-10-3 on the regular season, a 3.64 goals against average and one shutout. And he has stopped the Penguins cold here early in this third period. Not played at all since the last game of the regular season. A shot by Samuel, stop, rebound, and Lemieux stopped by Lemelin. Off his stick and up into the crowd. How about this guy? Lemelin coming in stone cold to begin play in the third period, and he has just robbed the Penguins here on 4 great scoring chances in the first 3 minutes of play of the third period. Unbelievable.
All Samuelson firing that puck to the net. And it hit a skate and came right to Lemieux. Almost a perfect pass to Mario, and Lemelin was able to dive out and make the save. And Recchi went in on a breakaway before that. And he took a nice lead pass, went in all alone, snapped the puck up, and it went off the left pad of Lemelin. And he didn't know where it was for a moment, but he was able to cover it up. So he stopped Recchi, he stopped Lemieux, he stopped Ronnie Francis, all on great scoring opportunities. A couple chances for Francis.
Recchi right wing circle, Bruins in. It comes off to Lemieux. Out of the right point over to Peter Taglianetti. He'll leave it in the corner, and Recchi is shouldered by Wesley and bumped heavily. Randy Burridge gets the puck, and Ray Scampanello, the linesman, appeared to get hurt in that play. He's back on it now, coming back to center, following the Bruins up ice as they shoot it in. And Tom Barrasso moved it around the boards, went right to a Bruin. It's Chris Nyland. Nyland now feed it in the slot area. Bruins Hammond can't come up with it. Lemieux pokes it off his stick and back to center. Let's see what the Bruins use for lines here now in this third period. We'll keep track of it. They've got Lazaro out here, Burridge, and Chris Nyland. Lazaro in his own end. Feeding it ahead. Burridge played some center ice for the Bruins. And now we've got penalties coming up here. Recchi and one of the Bruins, Ken Hammond. And we'll take a timeout. 16 and a half to go in period number 3. 4-1 Penguins on the Penguins Hockey Network.
He took Glenn Wesley hard into the corner, and Wesley turned back around with a high stick on Recchi. Good check by Recchi to drill him into the boards. And as they skated away, Wesley chopped him with the stick over the head. Nothing major, and then Recchi slashed him across the hips. So high sticking goes to Wesley, slashing to Recchi at 3/3.
And Raymond Bourque now drills it long and deep into the Penguins' end. Barrasso got a stick on that. Trottier hammered on a hard, clean hit by Bob Sweeney, and back to center, though. Phil Bourque has it coming to the Bruins' end. Phil Bourque slowed enough to go off his skates. He lost his balance in the near corner. Yager's after it. Good pass left point to Grant Jennings. Jennings feed it towards a goal. Went off the stick of Ray Bourque. Now Jaromir Jagr of Pittsburgh takes command of it. Jagr to Brian Trottier. Trottier lost the puck to Ron Hoover. And Hoover of Boston scooting back to the Penguin line against Taglianetti. Fires up from long range. That'll misfire over the head of Barrasso. The Bruins get it near boards, shoot it back to the net. A weak shot, and Sweeney stopped by Barrasso. Word bounce off the corner boards far side, and Hoover trying to feed it to Bourque at the center point, but it went beyond him. Actually all the way to center, and now Bourque delivers it to the Penguin zone. Barrasso steps behind the net. Send it around the wood, and the Bruins again get it back to the center ice area and slam it back into Pittsburgh ice one more time. Grant Jennings up in the plug. Jennings to center red, gains that area and fires it in behind Reggie Lemelin. Lemelin sets the table up for Gary Galley, and the Bruins again force it up the left wing side deep into Penguin territory. This will be an icing play against the Bruins. So they go all the way back to Boston territory. Ulf Samuelsson out here again for the Penguins. Cleared on the ice. At the moment with Paul Stanton, and the Penguins using Francis, Mullen, and Stevens up front. Been a good line for the Penguins tonight.
Janney, Skriko, and Christian are out here together for the Boston Bruins.
The Bruins are having to make shift right now and try and put things together. Of course, Dave Poulin left. It's Seth Poulin down the walkway there. Andy Moe. The Bruins runway. The Bruins have extra players on this trip too. Might not be. Somebody's playing with some tape down there, and I just saw some music on his hand. Shot to the Bruins net. Lemelin made the save on Mullen. And the puck around by Craig Janney. And Janney slip it up on the left wing to Dave Christian of Boston. Dump it into the Penguins' end. Barrasso again will settle it for Gordy Roberts. Roberts double team. The Bruins trying to take it away. Skriko and Janney do. Janney around the net. Put it right to the goal mouth. Nobody there to slam it home. Larry Murphy gets the puck. Penguin defenseman just flip it ahead back to center ice, and Don Sweeney of Boston tried to shoot it in. It hit Kevin Stevens in the leg. Hurt the big left winger of the Penguins. Mullen trying to steal from Gary Galley. He can't do it, but Francis carries the puck in, and he is hit by Don Sweeney, and off the puck he goes. They still loosen the Bruins in. Here is Francis trying to center for Joe Mullen. Up in by Lemelin around the net. He couldn't get the shot away. Actually never got possession of the puck. The Bruins with a giveaway again on their own end. Here's the pass towards the Penguins in. A high stick on that puck, and that'll stop play. We've played 5.5 minutes of period number 3. Pittsburgh leading Boston. Pacific Arena in Pittsburgh. Mike Lang here along with Paul Steigerwald. The Penguins leading 4-1, trying to win a game in this series and make it a 2-1 advantage for the Bruins. Game 4 to be played here. Only one of the series this year is the team won the first 2 games. It's kind of surprising in a way. Of all the playoff series we've had, Montreal beat Buffalo in the first 2. The Sabres won the next 2, and then the Canadiens closed them out with 2 straight wins. Taglianetti back into his own end for the Penguins, and the Bruins stuffed it in. Trying to clear it away and out, but he can't. Recchi has the puck. Now ahead to Jennings, who will loft it back behind the defense, and Wesley has to go back and try and get it again. Hit on a check by Recchi. Puck free, and now Wesley's after Recchi. Recchi trying to center in front of the net from behind the goal. Can't make that happen. Recchi, one thing about him, and now the Bruins will learn that, and if they haven't already, he's relentless. He just keeps coming and coming and coming. Recchi behind the net. He is knocked down by Glenn Wesley. Recchi gets himself right back up, and the wrecking ball goes after it again, and Randy Burridge will scoot up now to center ice. Flip it to center, and Paul Stanton corrals it. It goes to Loney. Back into the Penguins, into Ulf Samuelsson. Samuelsson to the big left winger of the Penguins. Rink wide pass to Stanton. Gains the red line. Dumps it in. Shot it towards the net, and Lemelin almost misplayed that. Wouldn't that have been something but a gun after all the fine saves he made early in the period? But he had it away from the net. And the Bruins now trying to get out of their own end, and they just turn it over back to center. Gordy Roberts again with the puck. He will push it up quickly to the Bruins zone. Jagr gets a pretty for Phil Bourque on a turning shot, and that's stopped by Lemelin. Reggie Lemelin stopping Phil Bourque from 20 feet away. Bourque just picked it up in one motion after taking the pass from Yager and turned and fired. And Lemelin stopped him cold.
How about Yager? Just everywhere where the puck is. When Yager's on the ice, he's going to be there in a hurry. Don't worry, he'll be around that puck. Bourque was in a perfect position to turn and help that puck along to the net. And Lemelin, with the play in front of him, Bourque's back was pretty much to the goal as the puck came to him. Lemelin able to see that play and get out and take the angle. Now Neely's going to go off the ice in the locker room.
It's almost as if Coach Mike Bilberry is saying, okay, I've got to take care of some people here. We've had a long playoff series against Montreal. He's going to take Moog out of the game, let him maybe rest. Neely's going off the ice right now, as if to say, no sense pushing it here. And then we'll get ready for game number 4. You almost get that feeling. Now, I could be all wrong in that. He doesn't want to take a chance of permanently putting Neely out maybe for the playoffs. And he's had a tough night. Samuelson and the Penguins have bounced him around pretty good. And here's Yager in their corner. Yager coming up with it. Yager trying to go to the net. Yager's there. Yager still trying to shoot it. He can't. He has a stick too well tied up by Ron Hoover. Penguins get it to Murphy, and his shot blocked. Murphy can't throw it to the net, and Winnis now cleared it away. Right back to the Penguin line. Roberts going to Phil Bourque, and Bourque can't relay it over to Yager. Bourque again comes up with that biscuit. And this time, Raymond Bourque comes down the alley. Going to the Penguins line, long shot of Barrasso's stick. Chopped out on the rebound by Francis, but not out. He'll get it again and simply set it softly off the boards back to center. The Penguins have outshot the Bruins 28-20 in this game, and they lead 4-1. Murphy to Roberts, and it will come out of Larry Murphy again. Always trying to keep that intensity level going here. If they get down in this game towards the tail end of it, and looking forward to game number 4, not wanting the Bruins to take it away from them. And Stevens flipping off the boards and back to Bruins real estate. And it's Gary Galley. Galley's pass ahead. The Bruin defense has had a tough time tonight against the Penguin speed. They've been aggressive, and they've forced them into a lot of mistakes, and also have been caught off ice a number of times. And it has been a long night for the Bruin defenseman. Don Sweeney again stepping behind his own goal. And he'll swing to the left of the net on the right wing to Gary Galley. Galley's pass through to center. It comes to Dave Christian out of Ruzicka, but he couldn't take the pass back, and the Penguins again stop it. Lemieux flip it over to Peter Tagliani. Back to Lemieux into the Bruins in. Lemieux fake a shot. Now right side. Got Scott Young there. His shot. And it's stopped by Reggie Lemelin. Centered back in front. Going to the right point it goes to Tagliani. Wrist one. And that hit something on the way in. Bouncing free, and it will come to center ice. Penguins right now just keep the pressure on the Boston Bruins. They are doing a terrific job against Boston. Down the left wing side, dumped away to the corner. Gary collides with Ken Hammond. Recchi of the Penguins tried to center, and it's intercepted by Don Sweeney. Sweeney's pass through to center to Skriko. Finished by Lemieux, and he took the puck right off his stick in the same motion. Mario looks up, and he'll find Paul Stanton. Ricky Lemieux and Erie working together again. Nyland feeding Lazaro with 10:35 to go in the third period. 4-1 the Penguins lead. Ken Hammond roll it up into the Penguin zone, and Pittsburgh clears very quickly. Recchi looks right wing to Trottier, trying to beat defenseman Wesley. Comes down, his backhand shot, and Lemelin got a glove up and made that save. He has been something here in this third period. Those have been good shots. Here's Murphy, right point, shooting. And it was deflected by Hammond, the defenseman, off the left side of Yager. Yager always appears to be so fresh in the third period of games. He overskated on this play, and here's Burridge counterattacking for the Bruins. Up to Chris Nyland. Nyland again to the Penguins end. Cut around the man, moves in behind the net. Nyland centers. Where is it? It's off the side of the goal. Coming back to Nyland. Wrist one, and that'll miss the target. And off the wood, and it carries back to center. 9:55 left in regulation. Penguins lead 4-1 here over the Bruins. Nyland again went for the puck, and now he overskated it, and Stevens of Pittsburgh getting heavily by Lazaro. Penguins again just center to center ice, and Larry Murphy will blast into the net, and he'll chase off, and the Penguins go to a line change. Ray Bourque of the Bruins looks for his defense partner Weimer. And a giveaway there by the Bruins at center ice, and Francis right back into the Boston end. A long shot. That sails wide of the net. Coming to the near corner. Winnis is hit by Kevin Stevens. Now Ray Bourque trying to find some room to get it out. He's double teamed. He goes around the other side, around the horn, and he'll find Jeff Lazaro. Lazaro's pass through to center, right to a Penguin, Joe Mullen. Mullen cops it up to Ray Bourque, and Bourque logging a ton of ice time again here tonight. He'll shoot it in. And again, the Penguins go back and clear out of their own end. Ron Hoover delivers it back into the Penguins in right to Grant Jennings. And Jennings comes up to center red. Just send it away to the Bruins line. Bob Sweeney cut that off, and he goes to Winnis on right wing. Trying to beat Bob Erie. Got a half a step on him. He goes down deep and behind the net. Winnis looking now to make a play, and Mario Lemieux's got him too well covered. He couldn't turn and make the pass. Bruins don't let the Penguins get it out, however. Right side, Ganley. He'll cut down deep. Ganley going behind the net. Lemieux's all over him like a blanket. Mario playing some kind of defense right now. And Lemieux shoots it up ice and back on the play of Erie after. So there's Lemelin out of the net. And Lemelin beats Erie to it and fires it around the boards on the far side. Mario Lemieux. Erie got a good check at Sweeney, who paid the price to make that play to get it out. And there'll be an icing call against the Bruins. But the Penguins are alive. And they're kicking here in this third period. They are playing some kind of hockey right now. 4-1 Pittsburgh, 8:21 to go in the third on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Melberry and Bob Johnson might be partners in the Canada Cup. There's been a rumor to that effect that maybe Melberry will be the assistant to Bob Johnson for Team USA, which will train right here at the Civic Arena in August.
Recchi trying to win the draw, and it comes to Chris Nyland. Nyland to center circle. Wheel it to the right wing to Randy Burridge. Burridge moving in towards the Penguin net. There's Lemieux again to clean up his own end. He's been something else in the third period for the Penguins, working in his own territory. Penguins have 8 minutes to go in an effort to try and gain a victory in this series. Lazaro again through traffic coming to the Penguin zone. His wrist shot went over the left shoulder of Barrasso. Pushed around on the left wing corner. Wesley in deep for the Bruins. Wesley feet are right in front. Barrasso's going to take no chance at all. He'll just reach out and glove that and hold on. Penguins already with 10 shots in this third period. The Bruins have had 5. We'll be back in a moment. 4-1 Pittsburgh on the Penguins.
Gary Herdina saw some limited action in that second period, but Brian Trottier has been called upon quite a bit by Bob Johnson in this hockey game. He's done a good job throughout the playoffs of using Trottier and Herdina judiciously to try to save them, particularly Trottier, who's probably not as capable of putting in as much time on the ice as he used to be, and he just puts him out there in crucial situations like face-offs in his own end.
And Murphy now from the draw on the Penguins end. Flipping the puck around to the right point, kept in by Hammond. His shot never got to the goal. And Phil Bourque of the Penguins has possession. Wesley and Hammond will be the 2 defensemen back for the Bruins right now, with Burridge, Lazaro, and Nyland up front. The Penguins have Trottier, Bourque, and Troy Looney. And a bouncing puck sent to the Bruins net. Lemelin's going to glove that off the ice and hold on. I wonder how the ice is holding up here in this weather, the way warm and humid as it is. It'll be interesting here, because as we go along, you would expect, I don't know if it's going to be much more warmer than it was today with the humidity. Now the tempers heat up. Loney and Nyland again. And Phil Bourque and one of the Bruins, and somebody got a stick into Wesley, and they start to go at it. Now Jennings is over. Grant Jennings and Wesley get involved. Kerry Fraser's going to send some people off. And Nyland just took a shot at Bourque from behind, and Jennings went after him. And it's getting kind of crazy.
Nyland just threw an elbow into Jennings. Nyland's kind of sneaky with that stuff, isn't he? Because he knew Jennings was there, but he pretended like he didn't, and then he just drilled him with an elbow.
And I think he might pick up an extra minor penalty for roughing here. Kerry Fraser just gave him that motion. Well, his claim to fame was the night he threw a puck at Paul Baxter of the Penguins. Remember that? You were around there in Montreal in the penalty box, grabbed a loose puck out of the bucket, got it from somewhere and threw it right at him. Just missed his head by inches. I think he got a 3-game suspension for that too, if I recall right.
By the way, Nyland went to Catholic Memorial High School in Boston.
Nyland's going off. 7:27 to go. They lose another right winger. He is going to go away. He'll get some hot water early.
Tell how sneaky Nyland is with these little shots he takes. Scampanello's got hold of him. Now he goes over and bam, this little slap, this backhand slap on Phil Bourque. He's not done yet, though. He's not done there. We're not going to show the other part, but he went after that. He's skating away from Jennings. Jennings was kind of over his shoulder, and he turned and elbowed him in the face.
Number 30, Chris Nyland.
Now watch, Jennings comes up from behind. He feels him coming, and bam, there you go.
Number 44, Troy Lundy, and number 3, Grant Jennings, each received 2 minutes for roughing. Time to play is 12:33.
.7:27 left here in the third period.
Dave Christian, famous Christian family, and a lot of guys on the ice using sticks that have his name on them, his last name, same family. They own a company up there in War Road, Minnesota.
Christian said, I always survey the opposition to see who's got our sticks. He said they're pretty noticeable, and he's got a pretty good line on how many people do.
Mark Recchi started using aluminum sticks in the New Jersey series. Really likes them. He was using Christian sticks, but then I noticed him the other day walking around with an Easton aluminum stick, so he's trying them all, but the players like them. They're consistent.
And a face-off left point, Bruins in a shot by Gordy Roberts, and that's stopped by Lemelin. Wesley feeding ahead back to center. It's certainly going to change the game because I see more and more of them used by players, Paul, the aluminum stick.
Paul Stanton also commented today that he likes them. I mentioned to him about how he was getting good shots away in that last game, and he said, I really like these sticks. I just know I'm going to get a good shot off. They're just more consistent. They don't, the players get a certain shipment of sticks in, and there'll be X number of them that they just don't like. They'll put them back on the shelf and say that they're too whippy or they're too stiff, whatever it happens to be. And aluminum sticks, you get a real consistent shaft on them. And then it's just a matter of putting a blade on there.
And that's why I said I noticed so many of the players, because there must be there's a ton of blades down there, just the ends of them that go on them. Ron Francis brings it out of the Penguins end. He cuts down the right side going to the Bruins zone. He'll look for Kevin Stevens and play a stop. What's Paul going to be here? Scampanello looking back. Now Hammond and Stevens had a few words. It's an offside play against the Penguins apparently at the Bruins line.
Yeah, Francis and Stevens coming down 2-on-1.
They're looking at press row.
Yep. Lots of broadcast positions in this building.
They've got 5 broadcasts coming out of this building and on to Boston. See, we're always at the top, very top of the building.
All the way up.
It's the warmest.
Right in front of this sign here that's really hot.
It says your name.
What does it stay on?
It says Paul Steigerwald, doesn't it? It says here.
I can't tell. I've never looked at it. It's in front of me facing the other way.
Here's Wesley with the puck at the Bruins line. And those people with radios in the stands now are looking up to see where your name is. Right here. And Wesley circles back towards his own line.
It's on that check I send every month.
Over to Hammond. And he lost it. Here's Stevens now. Trying to get back into the Bruins end, upended by Hammond, and the puck moves into the near corner. The Bruins back to set it up again with 6:19 to go in the third. Penguins 4, the Bruins 1. And Wesley, here in game 3, dumps the puck again to the Penguins end. Barrasso moved it around the corner. The Bruins can't pick it off. The Penguins haven't cleared as of yet. And Ray Borg at the right side shoots one and hit the side of the net, almost deflected by Christian. Now Gordy Roberts and the Penguins push it up the boards and back down to the Bruins line. Trying to keep the Bruins pinned down away from any intensity here as we get down the waning moments of this third period, trying to preserve the victory. And Winnis and the Bruins go into the Penguins zone offside. You don't want to let them get that momentum going back the other way, go into game 4.
And I'll never forget the night that the Penguins exploded against the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Penguins won't forget it either 2 years ago. When the Flyers came roaring back in the second half of that game after the Penguins had taken a big lead, and it set the tone for the next game in the series. And how about in this playoff year when the Penguins,
it was the New Jersey
5
series
against New Jersey, set the tone in the third period.
It was the turning point of the series.
And
that was the third period.
So it can happen. But I think the tone for this game was set by the fact that the Penguins just completely dominated the Boston Bruins in periods 2 and 3 of the last game. The Bruins, of course, dominated in overtime, but that was after the Penguins had a lot of life taken out of them by the tying goal on the 5-on-3.
And some pretty good goaltending by Andy Moog, but despite that fact, you still look at the sheet. The Penguins had 4 on him, and they had 3 in the first game, and they pick up 4 on him here again tonight. So they have been able to score here behind the defense. Winnis going for his first goal, and he put it towards the net, and Barrasso stopped him. Chris Winnis in his first playoff game shoots it back to the net now, and Barrasso grabs the possession of it. Now Hoover and Tagliadetti get involved, and they battle behind the net. Tagliadetti and Ron Hoover.
Now Mario Lemieux has Ray Bourque wrapped up from behind.
Tagliadetti in a bolt of lightning went right after Ron Hoover, who was in the net. Chris Winnis had a good scoring chance against Tom Barrasso. How do you think that young guy felt in his first
I'll tell you,
appearance?
Barrasso hung in there and made the save on him, and as he was falling back, that puck was traveling towards the net, and he just snared it out of midair as he was on his back and hung onto the puck, and then Hoover was in there looking for the rebound, and tagging the net, he just rode him right down to Fifth Avenue.
Now Winnis and Stanton now going for a little waltz of their own in the corner.
Winnis walking in, just took the shot. Barrasso stood his ground, but watch the puck come up in the air, and he has to grab it with that glove. Now he's got it in his glove. No, he doesn't either. The rebound got away. The shot came back to the net. He made the save, and then Hoover in there, and then tagging the net, he came in and took Mr. Hoover for a ride.
All right, we'll return. The Penguins have the lead over the Bruins 4-1. Some penalties.
2 minutes for high sticking and 2 minutes for roughing.
Double minors to both men for high sticking and roughing. Taglianetti of the Penguins and Ron Hoover of the Boston Bruins. They'll both sit down for the next 4 minutes, cool off a little bit.
Taglianetti, when the Penguins got him for the Minnesota North Stars, that was the reason they got him, because he's abrasive and he'll stand in there and really stick up for his teammates, including his goaltender, who was under some pressure from Hoover.
Ronnie Hoover was originally drafted by the Hartford Whalers, but signed as a free agent out of the University of Western Michigan. Winnis had that opportunity there.
Puck went back around the corner. I think Winnis got that puck his own rebound.
He did.
Shot it back.
He did. He was the man who shot it back to the net.
Watch Taglianetti. Well, you're not going to see it, but Taglianetti just rode him right back over by that Donnelly Directory sign in the corner.
And we're back to live action now as Bob Sweeney and Phil Bourque almost squared off just a moment ago after the face-off, but the Penguins drop it into the Bruins in the left wing corner. Ray Bourque back to take command of it. He'll lift it ahead to Winnis, who was hit by Phil Bourque. Winnis lost his stick. Bourque turned around and nailed him again, and now Ray Bourque and Phil Bourque collide. Wouldn't that be some? Bourque against Bourque. If that were to happen. Back into the Penguin zone, and Larry Murphy pushing up ahead through to the Bruins line. Ray Bourque going after it, and Phil Bourque is right on his backside. Wheels away from that check, and the Bruins now a penalty coming up here against the Penguins. It's shot away behind the Penguin net, and a penalty to be issued here against the Pens. Let's see who's going to get the call. Slashing call. Who are they looking at? Phil Bourque, I believe. Phil Bourque's going to get a slashing minor here, giving the Bruins a power play with still time to go. 4:48.
Pittsburgh penalty, number 29, Bill Bourque, 2 minutes for slashing.
The Bruins are without Cam Neely. They're out without Dave Poulin right now. On the power play to go the penalty at 15:12 of period number 3. So Bourque sits down. The thing about Stanley Cup playoff competition and games like this, you just never feel comfortable. I'm just telling you, you just never do, because you never know what can happen.
Hey, Mike, how does Phil Bourque see out of that from underneath that helmet? It's always down over his eyebrows. Recchi on the head on the bench. Francis is out here to kill the penalty.
Francis with Joey Mullen up front, and the backdoor men, if you will be Roberts and Ulf Samuelsson. Being on the penalty killing unit. Puck got a play from the face-off. The Bruins employ Strico here with Brzezinski and Christian.
13 minutes went by in this game before the team could score, and the Penguins got that all-important first goal. We know how much that's meant to them over the course of the season, particularly here at home, to get the lead, and then a 2-goal lead as Ron Francis put them ahead at 5:01 of the second period, and they never looked back.
Almost had another goal by Joe Mullen that would have counted, but it was disallowed as the net was displaced before the puck went in. That was called back, but Francis scored 5 minutes after that. Just a little under that, and here's Wesley now leading the parade back for the Bruins. Throw it down the right wing boards. This will be an icing call if the Penguins get there first. And it is, and it hurts the Bruins power play there. Samuelsson was hit, but he made the play. And he was hit from behind by Pepe Strico. That's what you call taking a check. And people new to the game, and you have to do that sometimes. You have to put yourself in a vulnerable position to make a play, and that was one there to get an icing call. Or to get a puck out of your own end, you're going to get hit sometimes. Coaches and people look at that.
Bob Johnson, I've told you before, he's the comment between games in the Jersey series. He said Ulf Samuelsson has that talent of getting there first. He always gets there first. He says some guys have a talent of getting there second. In other words, just didn't make it, but not all Samuelson. He'll just go all out to get to a puck along the boards. He did so there.
Penguin bench with a lot of young players and a lot of veterans sprinkled in here who have been here before in this situation. Ryan Trottier, Joe Mullen. Look at them down the acquisitions by General Manager Craig Patrick, adding a little bit of seasoning to the Penguin lineup. And it has helped during the course of the playoffs. And of course, it didn't hurt the number of these Penguins. Not a whole lot, but were involved against Philadelphia a couple of years back in the Rangers, and they got a little taste of the playoffs. Here's Burridge now to win it. Snapped back behind the Penguin net. And again, Burridge pulls up around Gordy Roberts. 4-1 the Penguins lead here in the third period. 3:55 to go in regulation. Ray Bourque, right point. Feed it over now. Man open. Here is Bob Sweeney trying to shoot it, and he missed the net. Corralled by Ron Francis. Francis stepping up, just slowly drops it back into the Bruins end. Reggie Lemelin, who replaced Andy Moog at the end of two.
Amazing to see Janney and Ruzicka and Christian Strico all on the bench during the power play.
And again, whip towards the Penguin net, and Barrasso is just going to reach with the paw and pull it in near him, and we'll get a face-off in the Penguin zone.
Hey, there's a man, a familiar face in the crowd here at the Civic Arena, Johnny Cullen. Mario Lemieux's girlfriend to his right, Natalie Asseline. Johnny Cullen back in the igloo. He certainly knows this Boston Bruin team, having played them in the playoffs. The Hartford Whalers.
Well, what he wouldn't give, I'm sure, to be in this situation, but it's part of the business when the trades are made. And Johnny, one of the more likable guys the Penguins have ever had here. Now a member of the Hartford Whalers. And here's Larry Murphy coming up with a puck after the face-off. He shoots it up by the head of Mario Lemieux, his teammate, all the way to the Bruins zone with 35 to go. Was Robbie Brown still around? He was in town for a while.
Yeah, he was.
And Ray Bourque cruises back through to center on a 5-man rush for the Bruins to the Penguins end. They shoot it into the right wing corner.
Two of the three players that came in that trade, Mike, as Johnny Cullen watching on, as two of them scored goals here tonight, Francis and Jennings.
Yeah, Bourque to the left side going to Galley. Galley shoots it, deflected right in on Barrasso, but he makes the save and holds off. Penguin netminder Tom Barrasso stopping the Boston Bruins on their bid for a power play goal. They're 0 for 2 tonight. 14 seconds remaining here. Deflection by Winnis right in front. So Winnis has certainly come on to play pretty well.
It's Ted Sater talking about him. He thinks he's going to be a good hockey player. That he's just a baby. He was practicing with the Bruins back in Boston, and you just never really got the impression he was going to get any ice time and play in the playoffs. But the Bruins certainly are not afraid to bring guys in
not at all.
out of nowhere and let them play, and sometimes they score big goals for them.
No, they'll bring a guy right in off the street in Boston. It's the train station. I'm telling you seriously, and bring him in and play him. I mean, they get a word on him, they'll sign him and play him. That's the way the Bruins are. They've got a pretty good book, especially college players. We've talked about it around that area. It's not quite as crazy as we're making it, but they do have that great reserve. Here's Christian now going to Strico, trying to put it in front. Went right by everybody. And off to the left wing corner. Ruzicka, penalty has expired. Behind the net, Bruin center. They got a man in front. They can't get it to him. It was Christian. Back towards the net. That's deflected. And Phil Bourque of the Penguins coming up with that puck. Turns it over to Brian Trottier. 2:28 to go in the third. The Penguins appear to be on their way to winning game 3. And it would force at least 5 games to be played between these two teams. Game 4 will be on Tuesday night here at the Civic Arena. And the Penguins will be trying to tie it and even the series up, make it a best of 3. When the Bruins would have the home ice advantage, and the Penguins, if it were to carry on, would have to win a game in Boston to win the series.
And they knew they were going to have to win one in Boston.
It's going to be against the Penguins again. Stevens got a piece of Glenn Wesley. And the Bruins pull their goaltender. They shoot it to the net. Barrasso will stop it. And I think Kevin Stevens will be the man set off here for slashing. So Stevens is guilty of a penalty. And this one at 18:06. The Penguins will be shorthanded the rest of the way. If the Bruins should score.
Pittsburgh penalty, number 25, Kevin Stevens.
Well, the Penguins showing a lot here in the third period, Paul. They came out and took the game right away from the Bruins again. Put a lot of pressure on Reggie Lemelin. The first half of it, then kind of turned it around, killed a couple penalties. Ruzicka and Stanton point the sticks at one another. But Stevens will draw the slashing call.
And he held the stick of Wesley, but he whacked him pretty well across that left arm and the wrist.
Demonstrative? Would you say he would be a demonstrative person, Kevin Stevens? I would too.
Yeah.
Very emotional guy. story they talked about him. I think that's pretty much on the money that they wrote the other day, the way Kevin is, when he's just coming into his own. And I can tell you this, so deep down inside, despite the fact that you may think he has no confidence, he is a very confident young guy.
Say something else, Mike. He talks about winning more than anybody on that.
Absolutely. You bet he does. And here is Weimer right side shooting the puck. That stop is made by Barrasso and covered now by the Penguin goaltender. Yeah, that's why it's a little deceptive. I mean, he's very, I think, pretty much humble and in control of himself, but you get him alone one-on-one, and you can see just talking to him one on how deep he wants to, and deep desire to win and be a good hockey player. So it's a little deceiving, the fact that they think he's not quite wanting to reach his potential. I think people are better. But for those new fans of you, that was in the paper. A story was written about him trying to step up and really become a leader of this hockey club, and he has certainly done that.
Paul Stanton, you see him step out of the way there, get right out of the way so his goaltender could see the shot.
Back to the net again, and Barrasso slides it away to the left point. Galley directs it behind the net. Lazaro with 1:45 to go in the third period. Couldn't find anybody open, and Stanton will dish it off the boards, and away it goes. Penguins short-handed for the fourth time in this game. They've not allowed a power play goal against by the Bruins. That's a big difference from games 1 and 2. Here are the Bruins again, charging back. Sweeney runs into Ron Francis. Francis took a swipe at him, didn't get him. Bruins are offside. Eddie comes on it for serving his penalty time, and Ron Hoover. And Stevens will be there for the remainder of the game. He's in the penalty box. Rosie Ruzicka finally shut him down tonight. They'll do it again on Tuesday with the Penguins trailing the series 2-1. Chris Winnis on board again with Skriko and Ruzicka. Penguins force it up to the Bruins zone. And Gary Galley, they're not even going to play Ray Bourque in this power play, and that's a wise move by Bilberry. No sense leaving him out there in a game that's been decided. 1:05. Time left here in the third. Ripped back into the Penguins' end, and it's going to be another offside call against the Bruins. Well, the Bruins will have a day to be in Pittsburgh and get their game together and get prepared for Game 4. The Penguins will try and keep the momentum going here against the Boston Bruins. They're at home again on Tuesday. Paul Stanton into the Boston area. Reggie Lemelin. Trottier pushed to the corner, went after the puck, but Weimer beat him to it. And it comes off now to Winnis. 57 seconds to go. Out to center ice to Galley, and he'll find a man open on the left wing. Ruzicka stepped around Stanton with a good move. He comes down and shoots it on the short side. Barrasso stopped that. It's a big game for Tom Barrasso, too. It gets his confidence back in a big lift. After the Bruins have beat him twice, scoring 6 and 5 goals against him. He's going to hold the Bruins apparently to 1 here tonight. Ruzicka into the Penguins end, right side to Winnis. Can't get to it. Winnis now does, and off the right side he tried to center. Bourque broke it up for the Penguins. 27 seconds left. And the Penguins showing a lot of character coming back to bounce back and win Game 3. And we'll see where it goes from here. Ruzicka again. Slamming the puck back to the Penguin territory. Around the boards it goes to nobody, however. Back to center. The Bruins set up shop with 12 seconds left. In the Pittsburgh territory, Murphy fired it back to center. And the Bruins wrap it in. Time running out here. And that's it. It's all over. Game 3 belongs to the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're finally in the victory column in this series. And tonight they have defeated the Boston Bruins by the score of 4.
To the Boston Bruins locker room. Mike Milbury was down there, the coach of the Bruins, who came over and had a word with Bill McCreary, who's the backup referee tonight. And by the way, we're going to be talking to him during the intermission of tonight's game. We'll be able to ask him about this little incident and what his role is in this situation. But obviously, emotions are high and a little...
5-1 of period number 2. And it was a shot right from the slot, but Francis picked it up, and then he also played very strong, I think, defensively for the Penguins here this evening. And he, Stevens, and working with... Mullen formed a good line tonight for the Penguins. They kept some good pressure on the Bruins, and The Penguins, I think, balance tonight is what did it for them overall against a Bruins team that appeared to be tired at times tonight. And the Penguins' speed, I think, caught up with them in game number 3. They just kept coming at the Bruins and relentlessly putting the puck into the zone and going after it. And Ron Francis was a big part of that. So he's our Iron Man of the game. Won an assist tonight. The Penguins have outshot the Bruins in all 3 games so far in this playoff series. And for the 5th time. And 9 playoff wins the Penguins have. The Penguins have held their opponent to 1 goal or less 5 of those times. So they've been very strong at times defensively. So again, I'm mentioning the fact that Tom Barrasso had a strong game tonight for the Pens and helped lead the way. The shots on goal, a dozen each in the 3rd period. Game totals tonight: Pittsburgh with 33 and the Bruins with 28. 3 stars quickly. Francis, number 3, Stevens of Pittsburgh, number 2, and Mario Lemieux, the number 1 star in tonight's game. Reminder to you, coming up on Tuesday night.